Welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about an old but one of my favorite squads in the game. No, they're not the most competitive, but they sure are cool. And that is the first Volkssturm company of the 3x115th Simonstadt Battalion. So, per their description, they were formed or organized in October 44. Interestingly, it mainly consisted of World War I veterans and numbered about 770 men, and unlike most Volkssturm units, it was actually well equipped and trained. So, I'm fairly sure that they're not available right now, but as far as rifleman squads in the game go, I think they're one of the more unique squads. And basically, what sets them apart is that they come with the Lebel 1886 M93. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you to go out and get them at the first opportunity that you see them, because at the end of the day, they are a rifleman squad, and they come with all of the drawbacks that every rifleman squad comes with. They have no specialists, it's just 9 riflemen. You know, you know what you're getting into if you know what they are. But, I think that they're really cool. So, originally, back in the day, they came in the Elite Starter, and at the time, that included 2 squads for every campaign that was out. So, 2 for Normandy, 2 for Tunisia, 2 for Moscow, and 2 for Berlin. And this was the squad from Berlin. And the counterpart was the Mosin 44L squad, which to me were completely uninspired and incredibly boring. These guys, however, they stand out as being kind of cool because not only do they have their own kind of unique uniform, they're basically in like a jacket and trousers, and they have a little Volkssturm armband. And what's cool about them is that if you take them into other campaigns now, their outfits do change. So they don't look quite as desperate. They look like they are actually part of the military. But they always keep their armbands, and I think that's kind of neat. But the highlight to this is the Lebel 1886 M93. There is no other way to get Lebels in the game yet until a day that we get France, and on a surface level, when you first look at the gun, it doesn't seem like it's going to be that great. It's a BR1 rifle, but what stands out about it is that it's a BR1 rifle with 10-round magazine. So let's get into its stats. Starting from the top, it does 28.2 damage at 10 meters, which is quite a bit, and it does 23.1 at 100. Moving on from there, it shoots at 48 rounds a minute, which really isn't terrible. That's on the slower end of rifles, but it's not horribly slow. Its reload time, though, is the real kicker. It's 9.6 seconds. And basically, the reason why the the reload is so bad is because unlike almost every other rifle in the game, you can't load this from a stripper clip. You have to put 1 round at a time into it. Up to 10. So, we'll get into that a little bit more in a minute. But it's recoil 77x52. I don't care about recoil on rifleman squads. It has a 10-round magazine, which is awesome, and it weighs 4.4 kilos. So, initially, you might be taken aback and think, oh, man, a 9.6 second reload, that's almost a second a bullet. That's awful. Well, yes, it's terrible. But you have 10 rounds in every one of your rifleman's rifles. So, if you know what you're doing, you could stash your squad somewhere where they're hopefully not going to get blown up, shot, or otherwise destroyed. And you pop out, you fire off your 10 rounds, and no, you're not going to reload. Let Hans do the reloading. Switch to Fritz over here, and he'll come out and he'll fire 10 rounds. And then you can switch to the next guy and the next guy and so on. So, as long as you have other squad mates, the reload really doesn't seem that bad. Like, if you're really in a pinch and you have to play that one soldier, yeah, you're going to feel the reload. And 9.6 second reload is pretty brutal. But if you don't have to deal with that and you do have the squad, if you're playing them at the mid-range, if you're playing them at relatively long range, this can be a very, very potent squad. And remember, this is a squad that we used to play in Berlin, so if they could deal with the fires of Berlin back then when we were going up against PPSHs and Fedorovs, they'll do just fine at BR1 and 2. And in my experience, they do. They're still one of my favorite squads to use. They're incredibly unique, and honestly, this rifle is no slouch. Like, yes, I would rather have like a pre-war Kar 98 most of the time. It's just more jack of all trades usable. But my experience with this has been a pretty good rifle. As far as how I've got the squad outfitted, they all came with large backpacks, they all maintain their large backpacks. I don't see a reason to give them more ammo. They have like 30 rounds and you've got 9 dudes. The chances of me running out of ammo in the whole squad is pretty low, but if I do, I've got pistols and I can find an ammo box. Piggybacking off of that, they all have Walther PPKs. I like to give them cheap pistols. Whether it's a Walther PP or PPK, whatever, just give them a 500 silver pistol if you can't afford anything better, and splurge if you want to give them something nice. They all have knives. I probably should give one of them a shovel. I gave one of them a mine. Now, if I ran them all the time, I would give them all mines, but to be honest, I don't run them all the time. Usually my assault squads and my half-tracks and paratroopers, all of them, like my frontline in-your-face squads, they get mines. Some of my more reserve squads don't. I gave them all flasks. Flasks are awesome. They let you skip out on stamina perks, and they let you run forever. They all came with explosive packs, and they kept them. As far as perks, they can't get vitality, which is a knock on them. It's a real shame, but they do have enough perk points that you can invest fully into bolt action fire rate, and you can also put a perk into reload speed, which does help quite a bit on them. Or if you really wanted to, you could put 2 into reload speed and 2 into fire rate. It's really up to you. I think, though, because I don't usually reload the rifle myself, that you're better off just running the fire rate and switching to the next guy. Other than that, the other perks are fine going into mobility. I like run speed and medpack usage speed, especially with the number of medpacks that they have. And as far as vitality, health restored by medkit is usually a pretty safe bet. Generally speaking, I think they perform pretty well, compared to the other rifles at least. They all do have bayonets though, which is really nice. Let me know if any of you are still around that have the old Legacy starter packs. I feel like it was a great deal back in the day just because of the sheer number of squads it came with. Like, back then, I felt like I could just get, and actually for a long time I did, I just got the Legacy starter, and, or I guess it's the Elite starter, but to me it's the, like, Legacy Elite starter, because I guess they've got another one that runs these days. But realistically, I didn't need another premium for a long time because I had a premium for everybody. But I like them. They are a rifleman squad though, so I'm not gonna tell you to go out and get them if you see them. I just think that they're a neat, unique squad that I wanted to show off and talk about. I do actually have the leader in my squad, at least in like his Berlin outfit from back in the day. I have him with one of the camo schmucks and like an officer hat. I kind of wanted to outfit the squad so it looked like you had a group of Volkssturm fellows being led by like a current veteran soldier who's kind of there to whip them in shape and keep them alive as best he could. I know Berlin was a bloodbath, but you know, my own little headcanon tells me that he was a good little sergeant and he kept them alive. So, let me know what you think down below. Do you guys have them? Do you like them? Do you hate them? Compared to some of the other ones that we've looked at lately, I think the Machado Boys are probably more competitive than these guys. These guys definitely play into a longer ranged format than Machado Boys. The Machado Boys are better closer in because I feel like they fire their rifles pretty rapidly, and these guys aren't really suited for that. But that's not to say that I've never tried to take a building with a Lebel. I absolutely have, and you can get it done if you want to. As per usual, get out there, kick ass, take names, and win your games.
Zu einfach! Ich brauche Deckung! Lade nach!
Gut gemacht, Männer. Greifen wir die nächste Position an.